Welcome to the Academic Skills Center PSA, or Public Service Announcement on Time and Self-Management. My name is Roger Mancastroppa, but most people just call me Mac. Today we're going to talk about time and self-management and how to accomplish this, whether you're working from home or you just have a lot on your schedule. The basics to time management, we're going to look at a calendar phone system, moving from concrete to flexible when putting items into that calendar, using discovery to understand how we spend our time, and backward planning for large items that need to be accomplished. Remember that managing your time is about managing yourself. So we want to use our calendar effectively and efficiently so that we activate our reward system to continue to use that calendar. And we do this by incorporating a step-by-step, week-by-week process that helps us grow into this new way of managing ourselves, as well as the things that we need to schedule to ensure that we accomplish. My preference, of course, is a digital calendar, and we sync this with our iPhone or our Android using Google Calendar app. Now, you can use paper if you would like. The paper planner is still a very efficient and wonderful tool, but it does have limitations. Number one, you can lose it. It doesn't send you notifications. And of course, it can be really time consuming in order to complete it or to fill it in. So when you're thinking about this and you're considering it, realize that the digital version, you can't lose Google or the internet, even if your phone or your notebook should happen to be lost. You'll get notifications to alert you to events and different things that you've scheduled in your calendar. You can quickly create semester-long events, and of course, your phone goes everywhere with you already. There's no extra item to carry. That said, if you prefer the paper calendar, please by all means, use it. Now, when you're using whichever form of calendar you decide, we start with things that are concrete, things that don't move, and this allows us to build a structure that we can then start to plan around. So once you get in the meetings, appointments, classes, then we can start to build in the other more leisure or other activities that are very important to us, but still have a little more flexibility in when they happen. Once you get all of the concrete items into your calendar, then we want to spend about a week just doing what you've been doing, right? But now using your phone to put into your calendar how you've spent your week. That way, at the end of that week, you can see how you spent it, and we can start to actually manage that time. So we can form new routines. We can create some consistency to your weekly schedule that will give you a level of stability that you probably have not had. Backward planning is for big projects. So once you've got your time organized, you know how you're spending your time, and you've really had the opportunity to develop your phone skills or taking your planner everywhere with you and writing in what you need to accomplish, backward planning allows us to really organize those big papers and projects in a more efficient and effective way. So we start by putting in the deadlines and setting notifications for them. Then we chunk out the individual tasks that we need to do to accomplish the paper, the project, etc. You start by putting the deadline in first and working backward, hence why it's called backward planning. So for example, say you have a paper that's due. You need to do some research, thesis outline, draft, revisions, final draft, etc. So schedule first, of course, the due date, and then work backwards with 1 to 2 hour time slots, putting in time to write the final draft, revisions, draft, thesis outline, and research. A couple major advantages to this way of doing things is, number one, when you sit down to accomplish the first item that comes up on your calendar, which is your research, you're not trying to write a whole paper, just doing research. So it's far easier to get started, and you're far more likely to get it done and get it done well. Number two, by doing this, you're stretching out the process. So there's much more time to think about and really do the analysis and create a much nicer project and final project that has enormous success versus spending the night before, rocking through, trying to get it done at the last moment, and maybe producing something that'll get you part of the way to where you want to get, but not with the success that you know you can have. Now, finally, in order to ensure that you grow into this process, don't try to do it all at once. This really can be overwhelming. So take each step and practice it for, say, a week at a time. And that makes it a lot easier to incorporate the next step. And of course, there's some perks that are built in. Number one, you will learn to manage your time and get things done in a much more efficient and effective way. And number two, you won't have to carry all of these things around in your mind any longer. Your mind will be free, so you can focus and pay attention to what's in front of you and be far more effective at doing that. So, we want to thank you for viewing our PSA today and remind you that we hope that these strategies will help you become a manager of your time and of yourself.